And then, if it's done right, the gland will eliminate its contents into your bloodstream. You'll literally feel as if you've just popped something. All of that pressure will go away. And as we go through this meditation, I'll make sure to tell you when these little mechanical processes should be happening throughout, so that you know that you're doing it right. I've been using this meditation for a while now, and the reason for this is because not only does it decalcify your pineal gland, but because it allows it to actually function at a much more higher capacity than usual. Essentially, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be filling the pineal gland with blood, and then allowing said blood to dump itself into your bloodstream along with any other constituents that are present within your pineal gland, such as dimethyltryptamine, which leads to visions and astral projection experiences, to even melatonin that allows you to get into altered states of meditation much more faster because it allows the body to reach a paralysis state much more effectively. The side of the meditation that often attracts people, though, is the decalcification aspect of it. You see, a lot of people, you've all heard the stories, if not, where have you been? You've probably been doing a lot of these then, actually. I'm talking about brushing your teeth with fluoridated toothpaste, as well as drinking fluoridated water. You see, fluoride is a kind of like a calcium deposit that's found within our drinking water, especially if you live in the States. And as you drink this fluoridated water, what happens is that it's attracted to your pineal gland like a magnet. All of this accumulative mineral causes that pineal gland, which should be squishy and soft and able to create these hormones pretty readily available to a person when they need it the most, becomes hard and callous instead. And whilst it's hard, it can't do what it's supposed to do. People have been trying to decalcify this mystical pineal gland for years, decades even. One person comes to mind. And they don't see any results. I believe it could be because some of the meditations out there, the pineal gland activation meditations, as well as the detoxifying meditations, I believe it's because they're not fully finished. And I have good reason to believe this because I used to try some as well. And I realized they just needed a little bit of a push, a little bit of a Kickstarter sometimes, an additional phase to it in order to allow the meditation to become quite effective. And in this video, I want to talk about the candle meditation, staring at a candle in order to activate as well as to decalcify the pineal gland. Okay? I'm going to break it down into two parts. The part one that everyone is all familiar with already, staring at the candle, as well as the secondary part, that additional push to help the pineal gland decalcify its contents, all of that fluoride. But I highly suggest you all to stay with me to listen as to the mechanics behind this meditation so that you know as to what part of the meditation is doing what to your brain as well as to your pineal gland, so that you can keep track of the meditation, having the confidence throughout, knowing that it's working. It's nothing worse than trying a meditation and being uncertain as to whether or not it's actually working. Am I doing the right thing? Should I have my eyes closed? Most people just quit. So knowledge here is power. So, what am I going to have you do throughout the meditation? Well, I'm going to have you overload your pineal gland by hacking your optical processes, your ability to use your eyes, essentially. You see, when you use your eyes, some strange things are happening. First off, everything that you're looking at right now at one point was upside down. Because the image that you're looking at, whether it be your bedroom, whether it be your phone, no matter what it is, that light actually comes into your eyes upside down. It then goes down the optic nerve and then it conjoins within your pineal gland. That information is then processed further to the back of your brain, where it's then flipped upright. And it's happening so quickly, right now everything that you're looking at is upright. But it never started off that way. Matter of fact, if you think about it, you're now looking at a delayed version of reality. you're not actually looking at the present moment. Matter of fact, you're not actually living in the present moment, because listening to information is the same. Listening to sound, it has to reach your eardrum before it's then processed into your brain, and then you're hearing the processed version, the final version of music, voices, no matter what it is, even me speaking to you right now through your phone. And so technically you're always living in the past, although it's by some milliseconds. I'm assuming it's probably much quicker than that, because your brain processes things so fast, it's incredible. But don't freak out. I mean, when I first figured this out, I started panicking a little bit. It's nothing to panic about. You've been doing this your entire life. It's nothing new to you. But what will be new is overloading this mechanism so that the light that comes into the retina of your eye sits within your pineal gland and becomes so active that it actually causes blood to travel to that gland itself, swelling that gland, and you'll actually feel it during the meditation. It'll swell that gland up. And then, if it's done right, the gland will eliminate its contents into your bloodstream. You'll literally feel as if you've just popped something. All of that pressure will go away. And as we go through this meditation, I'll make sure to tell you when these little mechanical processes should be happening throughout, so that you know that you're doing it right. Okay? With that being said, grab a candle and I'll meet you at my desk. Okay, so first off, if you have your windows open, close them. If you have your AC on, turn it off, because you need a nice solid flame to stare at. You'll find that if it flickers around and dances, they'll often distract your eyes, and then you'll lose focus. Not only that, but you'd want to do this in a pitch black room. For the sake of this video, I had to have my blinds open so that you can see what I'm doing. Also, it doesn't matter as to the color of the candle. I just have green because I like the color green. Okay? But the brand kind of does matter. Cheaper candles, again, give you that flickering, dancing flame. Going for a higher quality candle will make sure that it stays solid. And if you go for something like an oil candle, or use oil instead, you'll notice that that flame really does stay strong. I've mentioned this before in one of my live streams. I think I even showed some people over on Instagram. So pick your candle, set up your environment so that nothing's interrupting the steadiness, the readiness of that flame, and get comfortable. Okay? The next thing that you do is you look at the flame. And as you're looking at the flame, make sure to focus on a part of the flame that's quite solid. In that, there are certain parts of the flame that are see-through, and there are certain parts of the flame that have more character to them. You'd want to look at that part of the flame that you can identify with your eyes. That will give you something to focus on. And as you're focusing on that, right now, I can see where the fire is a little bit more dense. It's more towards the middle of the flame. As you focus on that, don't avert your gaze. If your eyes go a little blurry, just readjust and keep focusing on that flame. Okay? Do that for a while until you start to feel some pressure building up within the mid-region of your brain. It could be 2 minutes, it could be 30 seconds. Essentially, you don't want to keep looking at it to the point where it becomes overbearingly uncomfortable. But you want to be able to identify as to when it starts to get close to that point, and that is when you stop. So you stare at the flame until you feel like, okay, now is the time that I should probably stop looking at that flame. And then what you do is you look away from the candle, preferably have your back towards it, and you close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, you notice that you still see that image of the flame. It's because it's kind of imprinted on the optic nerve of your eye. Keep looking at that inner flame when your eyes are closed, no matter what happens. If your mind starts getting cluttered with other images, ignore it. And instead, start to look for that flame that's still nestled within all of the imagery, all of the chaos. And it will still be there. Because again, it's kind of burnt onto your optic nerve. You'll start to notice that it will start to turn blue. And it will start to get smaller. and eventually it will completely disappear. That's great, that's perfect, that means you've done a good job. Now, around that time, your pineal gland should eliminate all of that pressure within itself. And if it doesn't happen straight away, that's fine. It's probably because you're new. But you'll find that with enough of this, doing it enough times, you will start to experience that elimination factor that I was speaking about earlier. So what kind of routine could you do in order to get closer to that elimination factor? Well, it's quite simple. Stare at the candle flame, close the eyes, look at it until it disappears, and then start again. Stare at the candle flame, close the eyes, look at it until it disappears, and then start again. And do that 3 times on day 1. Okay? The second day, do it again. 3 times. Then the third day, do it again. By the time you reach day 5, you'll notice, either on day 5 or between day 1 and day 5, you'll notice for sure that your pineal gland will eliminate its contents into your bloodstream, allowing it to decalcify itself as well as activate itself throughout the night. I think that a lot of people get the first bit right in general when it comes to candle meditations, which is just staring at the candle. But I also believe that a lot of people don't do that second part, staring at the after image, for a long enough period of time to have it actually have this effect on the pineal gland. So try it out and let me know how it goes in the comments below. Speak to you all soon. Peace.